Welcome to dboTV. This week I've got a special guest coming on. His name is Beorn. I'm going to cover the Bungie weekly update, talk about the Destiny drawing board, fusion rifle, and dive into some community creations. So let's get started, shall we? Nothing makes my heart race like listening to the dboTV intro music, because that means that I'm probably really far behind on setting up a presentation. Welcome to dboTV. My name is NCSU Duncan, and it's been a while. It's been about 2 weeks, I guess, since the last episode. I had sort of a scheduling issue pop up at the last second last week. It's felt like more than 2 weeks though. I don't know what it is. But anyway, I've got a pretty great show lined up for you. As always, if you're not aware, this is an official, unofficial news program for Destiny.Bungie.Org. It's a pretty great site. I like it. And my guest this week, I'm trying a new format out. I'm trying to bring on a guest co-host, if you will. Hopefully this is something I could do every week, because I think it's going to turn out pretty great. But my guest for this first time is going to be Beorn, who is a longtime Bungie.org member, and he's one of the DBO admins, and he's a pretty cool guy. I first met Beorn back right after PAX. He missed PAX itself, but I did get to hang out with him a little bit over at Claude Herrera's house. So let's bring him on. Bear with me here. This could be a little bit shaky, but I'm going to give him a call, and we'll see how this works. There he is.
Does it work?
I think it's working. Hold on.
All right.
Let me fix that. There we go. How's it going, Beorn?
Doing well. How are you?
Now, do you prefer Beorn or your real name? I didn't want to say it.
Yeah, I'm Beorn Michael. Whatever.
Beorn Michael. All right, I'll just call you Beorn because that's easier.
Let's play go by on the forum.
It's one syllable fewer, I guess.
Yeah.
How's it going, dude?
It's going really well. It's been a busy couple of weeks. You were slacking last week, and so we didn't get to. Besides that.
We've got a pretty small crowd in the chat this week. It's probably my fault.
But they make a lot of noise. I heard that cheering at the beginning.
That's true. The studio audience is vast, but as far as the Twitch chat, I don't know. Maybe my absence last week, all my viewership just disappeared. But I don't know. Maybe people will still watch it on YouTube. We'll see how that works. But anyway, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, you've been a Bungie fan for quite a while, right?
Yeah, I've been around
longer than me, I think. You were one of the marathon guys, right?
Yeah, I got sucked in. One of my friends was like, "Hey, have you heard of marathon?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm not running a marathon." And this is junior high, and he's like, "No, it's a game." And it sort of just snowballed from there. I did the myth stuff. Got really into Halo, and I've been mostly pretty quiet. Like, I've always been around HBO. The Bungie.org community has been home forever. Yeah, awesome community. But I've been pretty quiet through Halo and stuff. I'd make, like a wallpaper, or I did some, the Halo 3 rank icons, and just little tidbits here and there whenever I had time. But
yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. So you've got more experience with different Bungie franchises than I do. Do you have a favorite, or are they all kind of?
Well, I mean, like, I don't know.
I didn't mean to
Yeah,
put you on the
which is your
spot
favorite?
here, but
It's
what is your favorite Bungie franchises, and why do all the other ones suck?
oh yeah.
I'm kidding.
Well, Oni's the best.
Oh.
Marathon for me always just has that special place. I mean, you go back now, and people who hadn't played it, they just don't get it. Like, no, it's awesome. Look, it has like 5D space, and they're like, dude, this sucks. But like, there's no ramps. You can't jump. But no, I love Marathon, but all the games, Bungie just has a magic about them. So that's why I'm still hanging out.
And I think that's pretty awesome that you've stuck around this long. And of course, it's awesome to have you on the DBO admin team. I don't know how many times I've been like, man, I really need to post something to the front page. And then Beorn is one of the names. It's like, oh, thank you, Beorn.
Or how many times I'm like, man, it's like 11:50 p.m. I shall probably post them to the front page, and I post it, and you did like 2 minutes before.
It happens.
delete.
Yeah. But anyway, all right. So I want to sort of, like I said, try a new formula here, and sort of have Beorn stick around instead of grilling him for the full 2-hour show. No. Sort of dive into the latest Bungie news and keep Beorn around.
Mystery Science 3 Theater 3000
exactly.
stuff. Yeah,
some MST3K it. And so that way it's not just me talking the whole time. Every week I keep feeling like dboTV is just some huge vanity project because I just like hearing myself talk, and that's not true at all. It's almost the opposite. I hate being the only person talking, so it'll be nice to be able to place the blame on somebody else for once, right?
And then I don't have to be on next week, so I can do all sorts of crazy things.
Exactly. You could, as if my ratings aren't bad enough, but you can tank them even more if you want. But anyway, okay. So, like I said, these are still sort of experimental scenes I've set up in XSplit. I was freaking out because about half an hour before I needed to start broadcasting, my XSplit install decided it needed to update. And then it decided that the update was going to fail, so it disappeared completely until I restarted my computer. So this is a little experimental. But anyway, let's see. Beorn, alright, there we go. So anyway, there was a Destiny drawing board, and alright, this seems to be working pretty well. Destiny drawing board, and this week the topic at hand was the Conduit F3, a fusion rifle made by the Future War Cult. This is the first time they've sort of attributed a gun to a I'm gonna say faction.
They called it a faction.
Yeah,
they right there in the top quote. They said Future War Cult faction, same sentence.
Yeah, which was pretty interesting. I mean, there's been some speculation that maybe these factions are like the gun manufacturers in like Borderlands, and this sort of lends some credence to that. I think. I mean.
You'd expect the fusion rifle from a future war cult.
Yeah, that's true. And of course, the logo was like right there, plastered on the side of it. So yep. Maybe Future War Cult is the only one making weapons like that, but I don't know.
I don't think so.
But anyway, so this thing looks pretty badass. Kind of cool. We've got some work in progress. Concept art that they showed off.
These are so cool. I love these work in progress. They show the one that you can hold and it's in the game, but then they go to the work in progress stuff and I go, oh, I want those too.
Yeah. Now I wonder if maybe they're sort of like teasing us, like all of these are actually in the game and they're not fessing up to it quite yet.
Well, so this is what I'm wondering is like, the Conduit F3 is the base. Like all of these work in progress images have a similar like skeleton structure. They're like the base structure is the same, and then they're sort of modularized with stuff added on. And so I'm wondering if there's the F3 snipe or the F3 dual wield or like whatever system they have.
So, I don't know. I mean, at face value, this could very well just be concept art, and it's like, these are the options, and they picked one of them and built the gun. Which is kind of what the Destiny drawing boards seem to imply, but you never know. I do think that it's really awesome. Just somebody's job is to make all of these different variants, and then somebody else picks that and builds it in the game. It makes me think of like when I was like a kid in like high school or something, like just doodling different guns in the margins of my papers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so one of the concepts that they built out was this badass thing with some crazy scope on the top, and it looks like it's got a huge battery pack or something on the bottom.
Yeah.
It's pretty fancy.
My iPhone needs that.
Say what?
My iPhone needs a giant battery pack like that.
Yeah, really. I think this the Fusion F3 is micro USB compatible, so
I would hope
with
so.
your fancy lightning adapter or whatever, it might not plug in.
Yeah. Lightning something.
Lightning something, that's true. So we've got, the first person shot, which is pretty great. And as always, like I always like to point out like the weird depth of focus effect they've got sort of at the bottom right of the screen there. I wonder how prevalent that's going to be in Destiny.
Yeah, or if like maybe a HUD element is going to be covering up.
That's true.
A depth of field there would really help blur any details that would otherwise sort of obstruct the UI. But
yeah, make for some good.
Maybe it's just for these things. Who knows?
I hadn't thought of that, but that's a pretty good notion there. And of course we've got this second shot that shows this thing like charging up or whatever.
Glorious.
Looks dangerous. It looks hot. I love like the little bit of red you can see in like those holes on the side. Like
the whole barrel. Yeah, like it lights up. That thing's pretty crazy.
Thing looks pretty badass. But,
I wonder if it's gonna be like a railgun, like where you pull the charge and hold it and then let go, like or like Spartan laser or something like that, or if it's more. They sort of said like you charge it up and then let it off the chain, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know what that means exactly. But for like a primary weapon, you'd think you don't want something that you have to hold in charge, like
yeah, not every
charge
time.
release.
For sure.
But
well, anyway, so that looks pretty cool. I'm looking forward to seeing if there's going to be more faction-based weapons in future Destiny drawing boards. Are we going to see the Seven Seraph sniper or whatever?
Yep.
That'll be interesting to see, and I sort of hope that there's more to the future war cult than just being a weapons manufacturer. But maybe that's just because I have the T-shirt already, and I want it to mean more than that.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, they're teasing. They're very specifically teasing this stuff just to whet our appetites and doing a really good job of it.
Yeah. Pretty cool. But anyway, so moving on. The Bungie Weekly Update is back, and I'm kind of sad that I missed the first Bungie Weekly Update because of my absence last week. I should have, been heralding it with trumpets and confetti and all kinds of things, but now it's like, oh, it's the second week.
Old news.
Who cares? Yeah, old news. But whatever. There are some interesting things. I thought the most interesting part of this week's update was this screenshot we have here.
Of Snowbound?
Yeah. Yeah, right, Snowbound.
The moon.
Like just off camera to the left, there are those turrets that would kill you if you walk too far.
Yep, that's what that line is. You think it's like, Moon River tracks. No.
But anyway, this is one of the Bungie employees, Dawn Vu, took this screenshot of her Titan, and looks pretty badass. It looks like a Spartan to me. I think more than any other screenshot I've seen, it's like that screams Halo to me more than anything.
Right.
Especially
in the go ahead. No, I was just gonna say, like, it is the Titan, right? I mean, the Titan's supposed to be Master Chief, or not Master Chief, but that's the idea, right? You're encased in a suit of crazy armor and just unstoppable.
Yeah.
So it's armor, space armor.
Yeah. And I thought, I mean, yeah, I've seen that about the Titan before. This one in particular, I guess maybe it's because there's so much red there, and I'm used to associating, red and blue, and then the helmet too, the way that giant gold visor on it
CQC,
sort of
like, yeah.
makes me think like that could have been in Reach.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it might have been, or something similar. I love the specularity on it though, like the highlight. It just the materials look great.
It's pretty, and
the shadow.
Yeah, and that rifle she's holding too looks pretty beefy, and I don't think it's one we've seen before. Or if it is, it's got a different skin on it or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Looks cool. And then is that some sort of like cape thing on the back?
It's like a half cape. Like, yeah.
Sash? I'm not
really
quite sure what the
works.
proper term is for that. Maybe somebody in the chat will know. A little bit of cloth, it looks like. It took me a while to figure out what that was. But
yeah.
Pretty cool. Speaking of cool dudes, we've got Dolph Lundgren. And more importantly, Dave Dunn went down to Australia to show off Destiny. I think it was the GameStop Expo down there or something like that.
Is that what it was? I thought IGN just had him like. I thought he was just doing a press thing.
Maybe that was it. It was definitely IGN that he had. This is a shot from that actually. Here it's a video interview he did with IGN, and it covered a lot of familiar territory. Like a lot of. I mean, obviously he can't give away a ton of new information on a quick Q&A like that. I think some other Destiny sites sort of grabbed on him talking about when he was on the podcast talking about naming your ship and people thinking that like that was going to be something that was in Destiny, but the impression I got was him sort of deflecting the question and saying, "Hey, you can call it whatever you want."
Exactly. I'm going to get old messy.
One thing that was interesting from the video interview he did with IGN, the Q&A, somebody asked if we'll see any civilian life like in the city, and he sort of talks about he makes mention of NPCs and vendors.
Vendors, yeah.
Which was kind of cool to hear about. I mean, it's not something completely out of the blue. I mean, we've heard about, there's going to be an economy, and there are a lot of weapons, so it makes sense that there's going to be vendors in the game.
And I swear we had heard vendors before, but it was sort of just in passing, and this was sort of the second time, and this seemed a lot more concrete.
Yeah. But it was pretty cool. It was definitely worth watching, even though it was a lot of rehashing of information we already know. But Dave Dunn is a pretty cool guy. I met him at Halo Fest. I guess that was 3 years ago. He was on a panel with a couple other Bungie guys, and he was dressed up like a cop for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why.
Just because.
But I think he wears a lot of hats. He's a big hat guy, and I can respect that. But
you can.
Yeah. So anyway, the other funny thing to come out of the Bungie Weekly Update was Weekend Champion. Here's I want to say this guy's name is John, and I can't pronounce his last name. But his Twitter handle is SharkEatsMan. So this was an image somebody was teasing him with when he was Weekend Champion a couple weeks ago.
Brilliant.
And of course, the latest Weekend Champion was Josh Hamrick there, and
who just can't get enough.
Yeah. Of course, Josh Hamrick is the Weekend Champion because he tunes all of the weapons. If you've been listening to the podcast or the PlayStation blogcast, he's the one that tweaks the number. So of course he knows what the best guns are going to be. But no, the fact that there is a Weekend Champion sort of instills a little more confidence in me as to the competitive nature of the multiplayer. I mean, if the Bungie guys think that it's worth having this weekly competition and having a trophy, then Destiny's at least competitive on some levels there.
And it sounded like it wasn't like the manager saying, okay, let's set this up. It was just the guys saying, let's let's make it interesting. Let's try to up the stakes and just for any excuse just to keep playing.
Yeah, yeah, and the weekly update made mention of a new build coming online and everybody having to make new characters.
Yeah.
And I noticed a lot of like Twitter traffic from the Bungie guys that I follow, like all just sort of around the same time saying, "Man, this latest build is really, really cool. I really want to just keep playing that."
Yeah, like I think it was Luke Timmons was on Saturday. He's like, "Is it bad that I just want to go back to the office and keep playing?" I was like, "No, I'd go if you need someone else to do it."
I'll put on my Luke Timmons mask and see if I can sneak in.
Yeah.
But no, that's pretty awesome. I obviously can't wait to get my hands on it. But if the Bungie guys who spend 60 hours a week, whatever, working on this game, still want to keep playing it, that's a good sign.
It's they make games they want to play, right?
Yeah, exactly. They should like put that on T-shirt or something.
They should do that.
Put that on the website. So anyway, so that sort of hit the there we go. That sort of hit the Bungie Weekly Update. Unless there was anything else you want to talk about that, Beorn.
No, I don't think it was a good second update, sort of short, sweet. But I was really glad they talked about the weekly champion because I'd been seeing Twitter sort of photographs of it. Like somebody took a picture of it, like riding shotgun in their car, and it's like strapped in with the seatbelt. They're like, "Look who's riding home with me." And I was like, "What is this? What's this weekend champion nonsense they keep talking about?"
Yeah, it's always nice. I think that's one of the things that Bungie has always had was like this really awesome culture there of like funny things, like the Shaft.
That's
on
right.
the complete
Shaft.
opposite end of the spectrum, the Shaft, weekend champion, that Luke owes you a steak dinner, all these like really cool things that are, just sort of Bungie inside jokes that the fans sort of eventually hear about and get to latch onto, and that becomes a thing.
Yeah, it was part of the life.
Yeah. So moving on to the community focus of the week. This was somebody that we've featured on DBO and dboTV plenty of times before, but this week it was Karen Olava, who has this just amazing Hunter cosplay. We've sort of seen the work in progress as it came together, but this is the first glamour shot that we got of it, and it's looking pretty sweet, I have to say.
It's just unreal.
Yeah, and of course...
The Duke too, like it's so good. It has all the weathering on it, and
yeah, that's
just so much detail.
Really neat. And the Duke was made by Orion Works, which is somebody I couldn't quite tell if Orion Works was a company or if it was just like a one-person operation.
Yeah, that's what I got, was like a one guy thing.
Yeah. But it was one of Karen's friends made it, and I believe just machined that out of wood or whatever.
Yeah.
Which it looks pretty beefy there. I wouldn't suspect that it's made out of wood, but...
Then she made the Gallarhorn, right?
Yeah, she made the Gallarhorn. I think I've got... There we go. That's a picture of that. And of course, you got a better shot of her armor. She's got this awesome chest piece and the helmet. And, of course, her sort of bone greaves there really comes together quite nicely.
Really
the Gallarhorn, I have to say, Gallarhorn looks maybe a little smaller than I pictured it, but
yeah,
still looks pretty freaking cool with the wolves on it. I think those came out quite nicely.
Yeah, and then she just said, I think on her Twitter recently, like she's working on this, she's working on a Titan next.
That's cool.
We're sort of putting one together, so interesting to see what she does with that.
I'm curious to see what kind of classes people gravitate towards the most in terms of cosplay. Like, are we gonna see like an even mix of the three? Are we gonna see more Titan cosplayers just because there are a lot of people that already know how to make Spartan armor?
Right.
Or are we gonna see more Warlock hunters because maybe obtaining cloaks and cloth materials and putting that together is easier?
Exactly.
I don't know.
Just
Or
like,
maybe it'll be more gameplay related. Like whichever class people like playing the most is what we'll see reflected in the cosplay population. I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah,
Probably a little bit of both.
probably.
But anyway, moving on to other Destiny news, I suppose. This just came out today, I guess. It was
It's like, yeah.
Jesse Van and I'm Dick, I guess. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce his name, but Jesse tweeted this out, and it's an art exhibition in Seattle of Bungie concept art. Like it sounds like it's just Bungie concept art, not part of a bigger thing.
Yeah,
Which
it's
is
running for like a week and a half.
yeah.
It's I'm definitely gonna go check that out
I know
because
I'm super jealous that I'm not in Seattle. Like all you lucky Seattle people, they get to go to cool events like this, like
yeah.
on a whim. Sort
I
of.
don't know if I've never been to like an art expo before, and I don't know what this place like their policy is, but I'll try to take my camera see if like I can just get a picture or two for the forums or something. But
That would be really
it's
cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
this looks really neat. I'm curious what that is on the cover. It looks like the space shuttle almost. Like it
Sort
looks
of.
like it's got like landing gear,
I
and
think
then
it's
like
I think it's the spider tank actually, but
I think it's
with all of
but
its
it goes like
legs sort of stretched out to the side. Like
have we seen it like
in the
that?
top left, that little like the four circles there looks
Uh
kind
huh.
of like a rocket pod on like the top of the spider tank. I
Yeah, that's
wish
true.
I should probably grab a picture and pull it up, but that's my guess. And sort of like the top middle there is like the turret, the barrel of the tank. Um,
Gotcha.
I don't know. That was my first reaction. If it's not the spider tank, then I have no idea what that thing is. But it looks pretty cool.
It does look like yeah. Okay, I just pulled up the spider tank and yeah, it has those like little pods on the. I forgot about the pods on the top left corner,
Yeah. But
but
I mean that wireframe there is something we haven't seen before. So I think there's plenty of hope to see a lot of new concept art. We've certainly seen plenty up until now,
it's
but
always useful.
seeing some new stuff would be pretty neat. Speaking of new concept art, from and Jesse Van Dyck, here is a piece uh, of concept art for old Russia and the Cosmodrome Wall. And I found this, I guess, sometime last week, and I don't think we had seen it before. I was just browsing around um, different Bungie concept artists' galleries, and I noticed this one picture that we hadn't seen. Of course, it's nothing, super shocking. It's not like I found a concept art for some level or creature or something we've never heard of.
No, but what's interesting to me the big thing I was curious about with this is the season. Like
Yeah.
it's obviously winter. Everything's sort of frosty and snowed on, and I'm wondering how much we'll see that in Destiny. Maybe it's just maybe they were just playing around the seasons to see how things looked. Um,
That's true, because the E3 build was certainly not snowy. It was pretty sunny actually, and
yeah, it was sort of like maybe an early autumn kind of vibe to it.
yeah.
And this looks like it could be the middle of January. Uh, but
Maybe
yeah,
that's
this was
maybe
and
that's
in the
something that
wall.
Grognok lets them do, and sort of. I mean, we know they have time of day, so
Right,
maybe they
exactly.
do have weather effects in there to sort of breathe new life into the same environments we've seen
Yeah, and
before.
you could have a mission in January, February, and then go back to the same place in July, and it could be a completely different, look. I don't expect that to be uh, what happens, but that was sort of the piqued my interest.
But speaking of awesome artists, we've had an in-house artist
Oh yes, we do.
for a while, and there are a lot of talented artists in DBO, but probably our favorite is Levi, and he put out yet another awesome work of art. This was a Titan. Hold on, let's pull that up there. Pretty cool stuff. He had
Yeah,
another
so
he had a warlock in the same style, and I think he's working on a hunter as well. So it's pretty cool.
triptych. We really sweet. I
Yeah.
know, Levi, you're there. You're listening.
That's right, Levi here in the chat. I'm sure he's turning all red and stuff.
I just closed it.
But we actually had a new person show up on the forums with a different kind of art. This
Yeah.
was a dboTV, and let's see. Oh man, I've sort of blocked his name there. Let me fix that. Yeah, there we go. dboTV, and he made Open Fire, which is a 3D render of a gun that he's sort of building to reside in the Destiny universe.
Yeah, this is interesting. I pictured all sorts of people making things in the universe, but when Bungie started doing the named guns, I didn't like, for some reason it seems so obvious now.
Yeah.
But for some reason I didn't think that people would invent their own, and this is cool. This was a really great idea. And there's like so much little detail in there. He's got like the wires and the
nice, like,
yeah,
really big barrel, or
it's a big barrel.
Barrel magazine, is that what you call that?
I don't know. I have no idea. Helical?
I don't know. But anyway, yeah, that thing looks pretty cool. And yeah, like you said, it's really neat to see community members sort of latch on to something that you wouldn't normally think of as being a candidate for fan art or fan creation.
Yeah.
But I mean, this definitely looks like it could fit into the world of Destiny. You throw the right textures onto it. I mean, like you said, those wires sort of make me think of the Thunder Lord.
Yeah. he said he was going to be working on textures and stuff, right?
Yeah.
I think I remember that
it's still a work in progress.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how it evolves and changes, as he sort of, and then it was one of those things, like as you hone your craft and you keep working at it, obviously it's going to get more elaborate, and probably sections that will be erased completely and start over, and be cool.
Well, anyway, that pretty much hits all of those things I wanted to talk about. Unless you had something else you wanted to bring up.
I don't think so. I think that's solid.
Like I said, I'm trying to make these new episodes shoot for about 45 minutes. Because people in the Twitch chat giving some feedback before said, 30 minutes is a little short, an hour is a little long, 45 minutes, that's probably my sweet spot. So that gives me enough chance to sort of hit the highlights of the week without getting too much into the weeds, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, so Kermit points out, I had totally forgotten that we did create our own weapons in the forum, like as description, you had to write about it.
That's right. That was one of the DBO challenges, which I really need to bring the DBO challenge back. It's sort of,
well, especially now that we're like on a timetable.
Yeah, and now that we're getting a constant influx of new things. For a while there, I felt like I kept wanting to have the same challenge every week because there wasn't a lot of new stuff to talk about, and I didn't want to. I sort of put it on hiatus because I didn't want to say, hey, let's do another MS Paint some random thing, like, I've already did favorite movie and favorite TV show, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely have to bring that back now that we have some new cannon fodder for it.
Definitely. Yeah. Oh, and there was we have sort of a rampant, well, not rampant. We have an AI loose on the boards who's been like handing out toys and things.
Yeah, I think I've been really impressed with how quick people have sort of figured some of those things out, and
it's fun watching that.
I'm curious to see where that will go because I personally have no idea. It's always a surprise to me when is it Sekhmet or something like that pops up. Takes every now and then I get this really weird shock when I'm like playing with the Twitter and a new tweet pops up and it's got like all these really like weird jumbled things and it's like, oh, awesome.
What is this?
So it catches me by surprise, but I think people really enjoyed Sekhmet popping up.
Yeah, the latest one I thought was amusing with the like the classic artists and sort of like what if you pulled them forward into the Destiny universe, and we got a couple like Van Gogh recreations, and some people in the forum did some neat Photoshop stuff. I thought was pretty clever.
Yeah, that was neat. So hopefully
Yeah.
we'll see more of Sekhmet in the future.
Yeah, I think probably will.
It's always a pleasant surprise to me. I think a lot of people thought that the last one had a little bit more weight to it than normal when Marty showed up and started posting in the thread.
I was like, wait, is that the Marty? It is Marty.
That was pretty funny.
And he interacted too. Did you see that? He did a bass 64 reverse string
of
thing.
High. Yeah, of High. Yeah.
That was cool. Cute.
Well, anyway, so thank you for coming on and talking about yourself and helping me with this thing. I think this new, well, I'll see what people say in the chat or feedback on the forums, but I think the new format sort of works well. So hopefully next week I can con somebody else into being a co-host, and then
Levi. Yeah, that sounds good.
And then I'll put you in the rotation, so you'll come back around, because I know you have a Skype account and a working webcam, so you're on my list of people I can go for. But yeah, thanks for coming on the show, Beorn.
Absolutely, thanks for having me.
All right.
See, Duncan.
Let me see if I can hang this up. Bye. Okay, so that pretty much wraps up that kind of stuff. Before I finish this week, I want to do, of course, hold on, let me fix this, a tip of the hat. Sort of slacked off last week, and then the weeks before I wasn't doing a good job of having an actual hat, but this week I'm prepared. I have a hat. You could call it a hat, whatever. It's a sort of Christmassy hat. As you can tell, I'm sort of running low on hats. I need to go back to my parents' house because I have this huge collection of really cheesy bad hats, and bring those back to my apartment. But the tip of the hat for this week is sort of like I said, I've got a theme with this, which the holidays always make me think of, like, charitable giving. So the tip of the hat this week goes to the people that are sponsoring Extra Life, the people that are donating money to that and sort of getting the word out. There have been a number of Destiny community members that set up a Mark Turcott of Guardian Radio set it up, and then everybody else has been promoting it. But it's Destiny Community Gives Back, which is just sort of a one participant account representing the Destiny community for Extra Life. You can find it by going to extralife.org, and then at the top there's a little box for search for a player, and if you type Destiny into that, the top result will be Destiny Community. And I think the people that have been promoting this, sort of threw it together, have done a great job already. I think we've raised over $1,000 so far, and the goal is 10,000. I'm not sure if we'll get that far, but whatever we raise, that's still pretty awesome. So a tip of the hat and whatever to everybody that's contributing to that in any way. I think it's pretty awesome that people are willing to use whatever influence they have on Twitter or YouTube or whatnot for a good cause, and hopefully we'll see some more donations rolling in. I think the plan is for some sort of stream on November 2nd. That's on a Saturday. I wanna participate in some way, but I haven't quite nailed down how yet. But as soon as I have that figured out, I'll be sure to let everybody know. But anyway, like I said, go check it out. Even if you're not going to donate, you can at least go look and see what everybody else that has donated. They can leave a little comment there, and there are some pretty interesting words. But anyway, so tip of the hat to all you guys. That about wraps it up for today's show. As always, I would love it if you would go to Destiny.Bungie.Org/forum and visit. Just visit if you don't visit regularly. But more specifically, I would love to hear your feedback on the episode. What do you think about the new format? Do you think it works? I'm still like I said, I'm always tweaking these things. As always, I've got a YouTube account and a Twitch.tv account so that you can watch dboTV at whichever one works best for you. And if those URLs are hard to remember, the easiest one to remember is probably Destiny.Bungie.Org/dboTV. Claude set up this awesome page that has an archive of all the episodes. You can even watch the stream and participate in the chat from there. So that's really cool. As I think that hits about all of the social media sites, except for, of course, Facebook and Twitter. But I've mentioned those every week, and I spend way too much time talking about those. So I think I'll just call it a day. Let me bring up the credits. There we go. I'll sort of throw these together at the last second, but they should work.